Hi, I'm Malcolm McGrath, cabinet maker, and today I'm going to talk about how to tell a quality drawer. And the first question is, why is the quality of the drawer so important? And there's an easy answer to that, is that drawers are under what engineers call a dynamic load, which means your drawer is constantly opening and closing. And over the life of a kitchen, a drawer might open and close 75,000 times. So if your kitchen's going to fall apart, it's the drawers that are going to fall apart. So it's worth being careful just to check, if you want something to last, keep an eye on how the drawers are made. So I'm going to go through it. Cheapest to what I believe is the best quality. The cheapest type of drawer you're going to have, this isn't a full drawer, but I just put a few pieces together. It's basically stapled particle board. It's very fast and very cheap. This is the kind of joint. It's something to avoid, and here's the reason. Okay? Just pulls apart. Staples won't hold for any length of time, and it'll just work itself apart very quickly. And the particle board usually is thin, so that's not a good solution. The next type that is common for an inexpensive drawer is a particle board drawer, but sometimes they're put together with these little clips. This is from one of the inexpensive big cabinet retailers. I suppose I shouldn't name them. But this is from my son's bedroom. And we've had it for a couple of years, and now this is what it looks like, basically. It's all falling apart. To be honest, this type of furniture has a place because for children's furniture, why spend a lot of money? I don't think I could even, we bought these because it was cheaper to buy them for me to make them myself. And for a couple of years it did its job, it functioned well. But you can see it's very thin particle board on the sides. Particle board will crack. It's not a super hard material. It's a very rigid material for certain applications, but for something where there's a lot of movement, that can crack. The bottom is a very thin material. It's just, so you're going to have a lot of flex here. That really doesn't add any rigidity to the drawer at all. And the front is just stuck on with these little clips, and the clips come loose, and eventually it all falls apart. The slides are just a little wheel. So I don't really recommend this as a drawer that's going to last. It's okay on really cheap furniture if that's what you want for the short run. So I'm going to put this aside, take it back to my son's bedroom later. So what I usually recommend, if you've got an inexpensive drawer, this is the one I like, okay? It's called a metal box. Now, this is a very cheap drawer, a very inexpensive drawer, but the nice thing about it is the slide and the side of the door are integrated together in a solid piece of metal. So this whole side is a solid piece of heavy metal, and they're designed such that, I don't know if you can see it, but the bottom is a full sheet of 5/8 or 3/4 particle board, so the bottom is very rigid. So the actual box construction is incredibly strong. It's all screwed together, and the slides can't come off, and the slides are integrated with the box, so that makes them a little more durable. And it's just a very simple, there's only 4 parts to this drawer. You buy these with the slide, everything integrated, and you cut 2 pieces and screw them together. So very simple, quite durable for what you pay. It doesn't have a full extension, so that some people don't like that. But I find these are really good for cabinets, for a playroom, for a laundry room, where you're really not looking for a super high-end look, but you want something that's inexpensive and durable. Those are the ones I recommend for that. Turn the compressor off. Sorry, I'm working in my workshop here. Okay, so that's what I would recommend really for an inexpensive drawer. What a lot of companies are using is something similar, but it's a little fancier. This is called a tandem box, or that's what it's called from Bloom. Essentially, what it is, it's the metal box concept in so far as you have a sort of prefabricated side to the door, or the drawer, and you just cut a bottom piece and a back piece, but it comes integrated with the soft closed slide. So essentially you're getting the same concept. It's more expensive than this because you've got a much more expensive slide system, and it has a soft close. I mean, to be honest, it has a little more, slightly fuller extension. To be honest, I'm not in love with this system. Still, the drawer clips on the front. It can pull off. The clips aren't super, super strong. And if you're going to spend money, my feeling is if you're going to spend money on a higher end drawer, you might as well spend money on a drawer that's really nice. So this is kind of halfway in between. It has the soft close, but it's still basically, and the inside is melamine. It's just, you know, like the white painted particle board, which, you know, is nothing special. So but it's an intermediate choice in quality, and still much more durable than this kind of clipped together particle board. Now the type of drawer that I like to use, and really when you get into higher end drawers, is what's called the dovetail. And a dovetail, or I should say, it's one of them, but it's one of the better ones. The dovetail, they call it a dovetail. I don't know if you can see this, because basically you cut little flared shapes in here which look like dovetails. And when it's properly cut, you cut these dovetails on one end, and you cut notches that are notched out to be the size of the dovetail on the other, and you put it together, and it forms almost an indestructible joint. This is a traditional cabinet joint. This is from the days when cabinet makers were called joiners. The reason they were called joiners was because the art of cabinet making was the art of making wood joints stick together without any fasteners. People didn't have screws, nails were too expensive, so the art of cabinet making was to actually make things join together without any nails or screws. So the beauty of a dovetail joint is I can show you there's no nails or screws, no glue here, and this is hanging together. Okay? This will hold together for 100 years just on the basis of friction. Now once you glue it, it becomes almost indestructible. This joint becomes like a solid piece of wood. You know, no nails, no screws, and it's actually, this is more rigid than the staple particle board without any fastening. Now I'm going to show you, this is a dovetailed drawer that's from an antique from my house. I have no idea how old this is. It's at least 100 years old. You can tell there's no plywood, there's no particle board. This is all made of solid wood. So this was before they had any of those composite materials. But you can see it's got the dovetails. Now, by this point, the glue on this will have pretty much entirely dried out. So the glue isn't really holding. What's holding this drawer together is friction, just because of the joint. And it's still a perfectly functional drawer. It doesn't have a slide, it just slides in and out on the wood. But over 100 years, and this will last for another 300 years, as long as it doesn't rot or someone doesn't throw it out, which if it's a nice drawer, I don't think they will. So that's the advantage of a properly dovetailed joint. It's almost an indestructible joint. The other advantage, of course, is it looks beautiful. It has the joint itself turns the drawer into a piece of furniture. I can show you here. This is a little cherry sample drawer with a dovetail joint. So in this, the whole drawer becomes really an elegant piece of furniture. Now this is a new one. On this old one, before I say that, one more thing. With the dovetail drawers that I do, not only is the joint very, very strong, the panel underneath the joint, or the bottom panel of the drawer, is made of very solid material. So this is 3/8, very solid with a maple veneer. I'm going to show you compared to 1/8, which would be on the bottom of these typical drawers with cheaper material. It's just 1/8, very flimsy. You can see it bends. This won't bend, makes the drawer super rigid, and it's actually stapled to the inside of the cabinet, so not only is it rigid, but it won't come loose or move. So very, very strong joint. But another nice feature of these dovetail drawers is that the cabinet hardware has been designed by Bloom. The new cabinet hardware that comes with dovetail joints, drawers. The slides, they're full extension, okay? So they pull right out, soft close, so you get the nifty little thing in the end, which people like. But the other thing is, they're actually designed to be fully concealed. So in your kitchen, all you see is solid wood. It really is beautiful. It makes, for me, it makes a kitchen really a nice place to be. It gives it a really comfortable, warm feeling, which I like, and particularly as compared to in some kitchens, they use those cheap ball bearing slides on the side, and it makes you feel like you're in your office. So that I would stay away from. It makes your whole kitchen feel horrible and institutional. I just don't like it at all. The ball bearing slides can pull apart. These are more durable. These slides are extremely made of very heavy steel, so this is going to last a long time. Very durable slide. And one other nice thing I'm going to show you about these dovetail drawer construction, which sets it apart. When I do a dovetail drawer, okay, the front of the drawer box is dovetailed onto the sides, so that will never come apart. You've got this strong dovetail joint here. That will never come apart. And the front of the door is then screwed into, or the front of the drawer, I should say, the decorative front, is screwed onto the box. And then what I do is the handle is screwed through both the front of the drawer and the box. So what that means is when you pull on the handle, you're not pulling the face of the drawer off, which you would be on a lot of these less expensive drawers. See, this one, if you pull on the front, you're pulling the face of the drawer off. And that's what happened on this cabinet. It's basically happened on all of them. That's a flaw with the metal box design, which is another reason why if you're buying expensive cabinets, see, if you pull on that, you're going to pull this off the little clips eventually. Oops, this is not going to come apart. I don't up there. And the same with this metal box design. Actually, that was a tandem. This is the metal box. Same thing. When you pull the front of the drawer, you are actually pulling on the little clips that hold it off, hold it together, so it can pull apart. But here, you're actually bolting the face of the drawer to the drawer, and so you're always pulling on this, which is dovetailed to this, so it can never really pull apart. So it makes it a super strong construction. One more feature, I just want to say, there are different dovetails. Some are better made than others. One of the nice features of the way I have them done is that what some cabinet manufacturers are doing, they're actually ordering the drawer material pre-finished, which makes it faster. Then they cut the dovetails, and then they assemble them pre-finished. The only problem with that, I don't know if you can see this closely, once you assemble the dovetail, this is never going to be 100% flush. It's always going to be, you know, there'll be a little bit of play here. So if you're just assembling the dovetail from pre-finished materials, this will be okay, but it won't be a really nice furniture edge, a really nice furniture joint. On a high quality dovetail drawer, the drawers are assembled first and then sanded. The edges are sanded off. I can show you a little closer if you want. So the edges are sanded off and then it's lacquered. So you get a really, really super glassy, not only a perfect joint, which you can add a little filler to that if need be, and then lacquer it. It looks really smooth. It looks like a really classy piece of furniture. So if people ask me, you know, do you want a good quality drawer, this is what I would recommend. This is what I do in my high quality kitchens and cabinets. It's the solid maple dovetail, and it's pre-assembled and then sanded and then finished on top of the line Bloom. Oops. Look it in. Cabinet hardware, and as I said, it really makes these little clicky things that snap them in. Makes a nice piece of furniture. Now it's not working for me. Okay? Thank you. Bye.